You might have heard the news that Holy Priest is losing a ton of abilities in Midnight, and it's true. Blizzard has removed everything from Life Swap to Ray of Hope and even Renew. The WoW devs definitely stuck to the theme of the expansion, aiming to simplify every spec in the game, but what will this look like for Holy Priest? In this video, we will guide you through what to expect in the next expansion, ranking each major change from a thumbs up to a thumbs down. Now, we don't know for sure when Midnight will launch, but for sure it will be at the start of next year. That means we still have at least 3 more months of the War Within, which is plenty of time to hit your goals this season. We recently updated all of our class courses for Season 3, giving you everything you'll need to rank up fast, including videos on how to perfect your rotation or how to get the perfect opener. We cover everything you need to play just like a gladiator in PvP. We even take concepts like positioning and break them down into step-by-step guides. It's like questing, but instead of experience, you gain rating. We even offer a 14-day no questions asked money-back guarantee for those of you who just want to try us out. So after this video, be sure to click the link below for an exclusive discount to get started. For now, back to the video. And we will start with the biggest changes to the Priest class tree. What you might immediately notice is that some major abilities are completely missing. Power Word Life, Renew, Shadow Fiend, and even Void Shift. That's right, Blizzard's ability pruning hit Holy Priest extremely hard. As we will discuss later, playing without Renew isn't as bad as it seems, but the complete removal of Life Swap is a very big deal, as this has been arguably our most impactful cooldown in PvP. Playing without Power Word Life is a bit more palatable, since Priests didn't always play this in Arena, but still losing out on a potential healing option does kinda suck. We will talk about this later, but it might be possible to have only 3 healing spells on your bars in Midnight. The full list of prune spells and talents on the Priest tree is pretty extensive, and even includes the removal of key passives like From Darkness Comes Light. What we're getting in return are mostly passive increases to stats and damage, but there are 2 talents that do look a bit interesting, including Light Burst, which increases the damage and healing of Holy Nova considerably, while also giving it a 30-second cooldown. This probably won't be too relevant, but with the loss of other spells, it could wind up being a nice filler global for damage. Another promising change is a rework to Void Tendrils, which is no longer an active ability, but instead a debuff that automatically applies at the end of Psychic Scream. This could be better than most people realize, as getting rooted after a long CC could be very annoying to deal with for enemy healers. Unfortunately, Void Tendrils is now dispellable and does share a talent node with some cooldown reduction to Psychic Scream, so it's hard to say how playable it will actually be in most games. Another problem with the class tree is that there are 4 and possibly even 5 Fade talents worth taking towards the bottom of the tree, which is kind of annoying. Oh, and one more thing, Halo was actually moved to be Archon exclusive, but we will talk more about hero talents later. For now, we're going to give the new Priest tree a big thumbs down. The removal of Void Shift is probably going to sting unless we have really good healing output. But now let's get into the weeds and check out the biggest changes happening to the Holy Tree. Blizzard's pruning was also really aggressive here, as we've lost Heal, Lightwell, Symbol of Hope, and even Divine Word of all things, along with some other passives. As far as the removal of Renew, the spell technically does still exist, but can only be procced through Prayer of Mending with Benediction, and then through Serenity and Sanctify with Lasting Words. In the War Within, most priests were playing with Empowered Renew, which actually made it heal for a decent amount, but this talent has been completely scrapped in Midnight. Regardless, keeping Renew up will still be an important part of maintenance thanks to its additional healing modifier, but it will kinda suck having no real control over when Renew is pressed, especially in PvP where there are tons of purges still in the game. Another major change is the removal of Resonant Words, which was a huge part of min-maxing on Holy Priest for a while now. Up until this point, this was just one reason to use Sanctify as a spot heal. But speaking of which, it will even be possible to play without Sanctify at all with the talent Ultimate Serenity, which turns Serenity itself into an AoE heal. What this all means is that depending on your build, you could in theory have only 3 healing buttons, since Prayer of Mending even replaces Power Word Shield. It's unlikely you will actually take this talent, as Sanctify will still proc Divine Image, which could actually be relevant in Season 1 since this will be the focus of our tier set. And to top it all off, Holy Fire completely replaces Shadow Word Pain as Holy. It's pretty clear that Holy Priest was hit the hardest by ability pruning, which is why we're giving it a thumbs down. Now, in case you've been out of the loop, Midnight also introduces some brand new Apex talents. For Holy Priest, they are called Benediction, with the first stage giving every Prayer of Mending a chance to upgrade Flash Heal into Benediction, doing more healing and leaving a Cosmic Ripple. There's not too much to say here, but it could mean paying closer attention to Surge of Light procs, trying to use them specifically when your Flash Heal gets upgraded. The second stage of Benediction simply adds more healing to Cosmic Ripple, nothing too exciting here, And the third stage provides buffs to Divine Hymn and Apotheosis. Divine Hymn will now automatically proc Cosmic Ripples, adding even more AoE healing to the spell, while Apotheosis will cause your flash shield to become Benediction for its entire duration, which is pretty cool, especially as Archon, who can have a very long Apoth window. Overall, we're going to give the Apex talents a thumbs up. While they are not that exciting, they do buff our sustained healing and cooldowns, which is exactly what you want as a healer. Now though, let's take a look at the brand new hero talents coming in Midnight. We'll start with Oracle first, which has been majorly redesigned due to the removal of Premonition. That's right, ability pruning did not stop in the class and spec trees, as Blizzard has decided to gut yet another cooldown in favor of more sustained healing. Not to worry though, because the new Keystone talent is pretty useful. Simply adding an additional charge to Prayer of Mending, with Twin Sight being the new end cap talent, causing Palm to cleave, all while having a slightly shorter cooldown thanks to a rework to waste no time. But perhaps the most broken part of Oracle is Piety, which as you might know was part of Premonition but is now passive, allowing all overhealing to splash over. Kind of a big deal with Palm endlessly bouncing between targets. The War Within Season 3 tier set bonus was also baked directly into the Oracle tree with Prompt Prognosis, simply adding a burst heal to every Palm cast. Oracle also gets more Serenity and Sanctify healing with a new talent called Words of the Wise, and shorter Holy Word cooldowns with Prophet's Insight. As for Archon, Halo is the brand new Keystone talent, which admittedly makes sense considering you only ever played Halo with this build. The previous Keystone talent has simply been moved into the tree itself, which means fundamentally, Archon will be playing the same. Archon also gets a new choice node between Realized Potential, which adds more power to Flash Heal and increases the proc chance of Surge of Light, which can be selected instead of Spirit Well, a talent that is more designed for PvE since it causes Surge of Light to now affect Prayer of Healing. Overall, since Oracle is looking really strong, we're going to give it a thumbs up. Archon is still questionable, but could be good for playing a long duration Apotheosis build. But we're not done yet, because let's wrap things up with some PvP talent changes. We hate to keep repeating these words, but a ton of PvP talents were removed, including Catharsis, Divine Ascension, Holy Ward, Mind Games, Thought Steal, and even Ray of Hope. That's right, no more Life Swap and no more Ray of Hope. 2 oh shit buttons completely gone. As for the removal of Holy Ward, don't worry, since taking its place is Psychic Shroud, which performs a similar function, giving a buff after Psychic Scream hits 1 or more players, providing immunity to the next CC for 15 seconds. Practically speaking, this is a bit of a downgrade, however, since one of the key benefits of Holy Ward was deciding how and when it was used. Unless Blizzard is planning a massive overhaul of PvP talents for Holy Priest, we're going to give it a thumbs down for now. Overall, we're a bit confused at Blizzard's vision when it comes to Holy Priest. For a while, it was considered an easier introductory healer thanks to its strong reactive heals and life-saving cooldown. Despite this, Blizzard seems to be pushing it even further in the easy direction, and as we mentioned, you might only press 3 or 4 total healing buttons in Midnight. For now, we're a bit pessimistic towards the spec as a whole, as Blizzard's pruning took a lot away. One thing that is worth remembering too is that every healer except Resto Shaman got their interrupt removed. Of course, Priests didn't have an interrupt in the first place, but at least this does even out the playing field when it comes to utility. Will there still be min-maxing potential? Of course. Desperate Times and Divine Image are still in the game, which are 2 talents that players will have to tap into if they want to maximize HPS. Every expansion, we help thousands of healers just like you hit their rating goals, like Gizmo here, a Resto Druid hard stuck at Rival with over 5,000 games played, who gained over 600 rating in a few weeks just by using skill cap. Our damage and healing courses save you weeks or even months of your time, condensing down everything you need to know into bite-sized videos. You don't have to be scared to sign up, because we have a rank up guarantee that promises you will gain at least 400 rating while using our service. So if you're serious about climbing, visit the discount link below to get started. Anyway guys, we want to thank y'all for watching. See you soon.